Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of the nation, to the Nuclear Proliferation Situation broadcast station. Today we will be discussing the history of the nuclear weapon proliferation. Here is Davis with a brief summary and history of this issue.
Throughout recent years of scientific development, especially with the somewhat recent advent of World War II, new military technology has undergone massive improvements in destructive power. During the beginning of the Second World War, a group of scientists from multiple countries worked together over the course of the war to develop the atomic bomb. In what was called the Manhattan Project, now the UK, China, France, Pakistan, Israel, India, North Korea, and US have nuclear weapons. Luckily, only the two bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki have ever been the only nuclear weapon discharges that have been used in warfare over the 80-year period since their invention, despite the nuclear arms race that ensued after the two bombings. This is partly due to the Limited Test Ban Treaty of 1963 that was an agreement to ban further nuclear weapon testing, and it was one of the first steps towards total nuclear disarmament and peaceful cooperation between the world's powers. The LTBT was later replaced by the Comprehensive Test Ban in 1996 that completely banned any nuclear weapon testing of all kinds, and to further push towards nuclear disarmament, to continue the decrease of nuclear weapon war over the world, the Non-Proliferation Treaty was signed by the nuclear powers, the United States, USSR, China, France, and the UK on July 1st, 1968. The NPT was an agreement to not spread the nuclear weapon technology to other countries. With these efforts to promote the disarmament of nuclear weapons in the interest of worldwide safety already underway, there is hope for a future free of danger from nuclear weaponry. Back to you, Fabio.
And now we have Chloe with conflicts that have arisen with the advent of nuclear weaponry.
I'm here to talk to you about the conflicts that arose because of nuclear proliferation, aka the weapons that made everyone want to slaughter themselves. Seriously, these things when the quantities we were making them could have been the end of humanity if nuclear war began. Countries didn't just have to worry about being hit by another country with these weapons, there was also fear of them getting into the wrong hands. The Cold War is a nerve-wracking time, as it involved two superpowers that both held an unbelievable amount of nuclear weapons. The people of both countries were in fear that they would be hit, although it luckily never happened. After the Cold War ended, there was a treaty signed, the NPT, to keep nuclear conflict from occurring. Since the signing, the only country to withdraw is North Korea, probably the family of the craziest requests. This treaty proved to be useful with no further nuclear tensions between the countries involved. But fear was still there, because no matter what compromise we come to, somebody has to get their panties in a twist. Terrorists, the ones who pour the milk in before the cereal, the crazy people of the world. They're always mad at someone, so they want the most effective weapons to torment those people. With them around, everyone has to be careful who they're handing out weapons to, especially a weapon of mass destruction like the ones that some countries have. The worry of the distribution of those weapons is there, and it's the biggest problem that we are facing right now because of nuclear proliferation. So as long as countries keep their toys in a safe place, we won't be down in the bunkers eating cold pizza.
To talk about the international reaction and impact of media with this issue, we have me! Breaking news! North Korea has withdrawn from the Treaty of the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, or NPT. This treaty states that the objective is to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons and weapons technology, to promote cooperation in the peaceful uses of nuclear energy, and to further the goal of achieving nuclear disarmament and general and complete disarmament. North Korea's withdrawal was sudden but somewhat expected, as North Korea had made a notice about this in 1993 of its withdrawal from the NPT, but it was suspended during negotiations with the United States. The sudden announcement of their official withdrawal left the Security Council with only 1 day before North Korea withdrew, making it the first country to withdraw from the NPT. The media has already covered a lot. According to the BBC News and many other stations, North Korea has also made its statement about this fact. In its statement, North Korea denounced that it was what it called the US aggression, saying we can no longer remain bound to this non-proliferation treaty, allowing the country's security and the dignity of our nation to be infringed upon. You see, media plays a key role in whether or not we know the good or the bad side of things. They could even keep it from us if they wanted to, like they do with many other things. Media itself is a positive thing. It helps us learn about the outside world from our own, but the negative part is the people who control it, the media. They choose to tell us what they want and what not they don't want us to know. For example, if they had the choice to report on a huge school shooting or something of the sorts, or a royal wedding, we all know that they would report on a wedding. This gives them control over what we know and who we are. So, major things are happening in our own country, and we have no idea what's happening, because the media won't tell us what's happening. They'd rather report on things that don't matter. Lastly, Devin with the impact on individuals on these events.
Hello, this is a nuclear explosion. Many non-national state actors made this happen. Hans Bethe, with some help, discovered fusion energy. He discovered this while doing war work in World War II and later in 1942. Working on the design for the atomic bomb during the summer in California. Otto Hahn discovered fission energy with his assistant at the end of 1938, and this led scientists towards further discoveries in the field of nuclear technology. Albert Einstein and other contemporary scientists collected in the Manhattan Project, the secret scientific group employed to create the first nuclear weapon. These people collectively caused the current nuclear scenario.
Thank you for watching the Nuclear Proliferation Situation Broadcast Station. Goodbye! I can't read.
Love looks like two.